The next chapter, MOSFET, amplifier, configuration. So the MOSFET amplifier configuration, first of all, as you know, the MOSFET means metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. So this is the name, and it is short. In short, it is called as a MOSFET, and it is also called as IGFET. So it is insulated gate field effect transistor. These are the two names. So don't get confused if they ask you MOSFET. So basically, MOSFET is a type of FET, field effect transistor. In FET, we are having two types, JFET and the MOSFET. So JFET is junction field effect transistor. MOSFET is metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. This the construction, working, its characteristics, drain characteristics, all those things we have already studied in electronic devices and also in basic electronics. So I'll not waste time in telling the same construction, working of it. So we'll directly move on to the configurations. So in this, similar to the similar to our BJT, even this has configurations. So basic configurations. So in the basic configuration, we are having three types: common, source configuration, common gate configuration, and the third one is common drain configuration. So these are the three types of configurations which we are having. It is similar to common emitter, common base, common collector configuration, which we have discussed in normal BJT. The common source configuration, it can be illustrated as
So for all this, which MOSFET do we use? Enhancement or depletion type?
sorry.
So for the portions,
Hmm.
which type of MOSFET do we use, sir? The depletion type or the enhancement mode?
We usually used enhancement mode of MOSFETs, but for both, whether it is depletion or enhancement mode, but the analysis is same.
Yes, sir.
So here we are going to connect like this, which is this is where we take the output, and you can see that this is the input loop. You can create a loop here, input loop, and this is the output loop where we get the output here. For the input and the output, the source is common. This is gate, this is drain, this is source. Source is common for input and the output circuit or the loop. That's why it is called common source configuration. Next, coming to the common gate configuration. So the common gate configuration, it can be written in any way. I'm writing it in this way. Plus minus resistor P naught, and this is RT. So here we are going to form one loop. Here we are going to form one loop. Between the input and the output loop, you can see that the gate is common. That's why it is known as common gate configuration. Simple way of remembering, if they are asking common source, ground that source. Common gate, ground that gate. Common drain, ground that drain. Now, for common drain configuration, plus minus, this is where we are taking the output. So our RD now becomes R naught, something that is V naught. Okay, so now the drain is grounded. So the arrow mark, whatever I have put, that indicates the source. The same way, there also in BJT also, the arrow mark was indicating the emitter terminal. Here also, the arrow mark indicates the source terminal. So obviously, other will be the gate which exists between the source and the drain, and the one more is obviously the drain. So these are the basic configurations we are having. Among this, the common source configuration, it is mainly used in amplification purpose because it is having high input impedance and almost medium output impedance, and it is having high voltage and current gain. But one thing is similar to common emitter configuration, this common source configuration is also going to give 180-degree phase shift. That means input and the output signals are having 180-degree phase difference. Even C configuration also we are telling input and output are having a phase difference of 180-degree. Here also the same thing happens, but it is known as source. Next, in common gate configuration, they are they're common to they're since they are common to both the input and output, it is known as common gate configuration. The mode is mainly this kind of configuration is used in radio frequency amplifiers, but this it is going to provide a low input impedance and high output impedance. Since it is having a low current gain, the overall the power gain becomes low compared to the common source or common drain configuration. But here in the common gate configuration, you don't have any phase difference between the input and output. Both are in phase. Because of its lower current gain, its power gain goes low. Since the power gain goes low, it is going to be uh, considered to be having lesser gain compared to common source configuration. After that, the common drain configuration. Here, the signal at the drain is going to follow the gate voltage, and based upon the gate voltage, the output will be depending. And this also having high input impedance and low output impedance, and but this is used as a buffer because voltage gain is usually unity. So it will be used as a buffer. And one thing you should remember always, whenever you are going to use, whenever you are going to take the output across source, remember whenever you take output across the source, it is going to have voltage gain as unity. Here we call this as source follower. There we call it as emitter follower. Because have you done this experiment, Darlington emitter follower circuit in your lab, AC
No,
lab?
sir. No, sir.
Okay. So whenever you take the same voltage divider bias circuit, which we have learnt now, we were telling that the output is very good. It is the amplified version of the input and all. So if we connect like this, we were telling the output is amplified version of the input. Just stop taking here and take for the same circuit, just take the output here. This output will be equal to input. Okay. So always we take the output across collector or drain when we consider the FETs. Because if you take across the source or if you take across the emitter, then the voltage gain will be unity. We call such type of circuits as voltage follower circuits or emitter follower circuit or source follower circuits. Okay. So even though the drain terminal it is having um, high input impedance and low output impedance, but it is just going to be used as a buffer. What do you mean by buffer? Anybody? Hmm? What do you mean by buffer? Nobody knows what is a buffer. Hmm? What is a buffer? You don't know what is buffer. You have studied DSD and all. Hmm?
A circuit that is used to isolate the input and output. Is it that?
Mhm. Okay. Any other answers?
Sir, is it an inverter?
Okay. Any other answer?
So when we provide no input voltage, or if we provide it at the same as the same as the output, it will
Hmm.
act like a buffer. Is it that?
Okay. Okay. Ideal meaning. Tell me English meaning. What is a buffer? Hmm?
So to
It brings
reduce
about delay,
the
sir.
yes, sir.
Hmm?
It brings about delay, sir.
Delay. Okay. Hmm. Any other
So it
answers?
reduces the effect of something that takes place.
Okay. Good. See, it acts as delay element also, and it is just going to give that delay by storing the signal for a short duration. So we call it as a temporary storage element. Buffer is a temporary storage element. If you remember in op amps, when we started the op amp in the block diagram, the internal block diagram of the op amp, we are having buffer and level shifting stage. Why do we use buffer there? While discussing the op amp basics, we have done it. Why do we use op amp buffer there? Buffer and level shifting stage we are having, no? What is this? What is the significance of that particular stage? Yes, Ninada, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell?
Sir, I'm not sure, but is it to provide a barrier between the two states, or that is the input and the output?
No, I'm asking, in op amp, we are in the block diagram, we are having buffer and level shifting stage. Why do you use that buffer and level shifting stage? It is already done. You have written internals. Anybody? The buffer and level shifting stage, whichever is used in the internal part of the op amp, so that is basically the signal will be continuously transmitting. We need to isolate AC from DC. So here the processing signal has to be held up for some time, very short duration, and then the DC content, the AC content in that particular, sorry, DC content in that particular signal will be made 0, and so that only AC component is allowed outside. Because in op amp, when you give an AC signal, but when you get an AC plus DC signal, combined AC DC signal at the output, during that time, the output becomes distorted. It is not a pure amplified version. So what we need to do is during that time, we'll use a buffer. This buffer holds the signal for short duration, and by that, in that short duration, this level shifting stage is going to shift the DC level to 0. Then when the DC level is shifted to 0, the remaining part is AC, and that will AC signal will be given as the output. So for such kind of applications, we are going to use this DREAM. So buffer is a temporary storage device, and this buffer can also be used as a delay element, because since it is going to hold the signal for short duration, automatically it is going to provide the additional delay. Okay, so this is common DREAM configurations. So these are the different types of configurations which we are having. After this, we are having the characterizing amplifiers. Characterizing amplifiers. In this characterizing amplifiers, we are going to discuss about the different equivalent circuits to find the different parameters. So here, the next, this entire chapter is about studying the different types of amplifiers like common source configuration amplifier, common common emitter, common drain, common gate amplifier, and all. And we need to do the mathematical analysis to find what is the input resistance, what is the output resistance, what is the gain, what is the output voltage, all those things. To study all those things, first we need to analyze which all parameters which we are going to consider. That is where the characterizing the amplifier comes into picture. So in the characterizing amplifier, what we are going to do is we are going to simplify the complex circuits into a simpler format. After that, we are going to find what is the total input resistance, output resistance, and the gain which is being applied, all those things. So let us see which all things we are going to discuss in this. So first of all, let us take a simple amplifier structure. This is just like a block structure. So this is where actually the input goes. Okay, we call it as VI. PI. This is P signal. And the current which is entering is II, and current which is going out is I naught. And we are having load resistance RL. This is V naught, output voltage. So this circuit, whatever we are using here, can also be written in another form to find out the different parameters, like what is the resistance of this, all those things. So in that case, we are going to consider one more circuit where the input signal is 0. So this is the R output resistance. So here we are taking it in terms of current. Okay, let us see one by one. So here this is an amplifier which is being fed with input signal through Rsig, that is the resistance with respect to the signal. It also contains an load resistance with load resistance. And first step we need to find is what is the R in, what is the total input resistance we are having. So this is total signal resistance, that is with respect to signal as well as the internal resistance. But now we need to find what is the input resistance which is being considered with respect to the op amp, not with respect to the signal. What is the total input resistance which is offered by the op amp? So for that, we need to use Rin is equal to Vi by Ii. So from this formula, we can find Vi by Ri. And now you can see that the resistance, input resistance will be like this. It will be appearing here, Ri. This is the total input resistance that is going to appear across the op amp. So in order to find this Ri, or you can take it as Rin, input resistance. And when we consider these two circuits, R signal and R in, they are in parallel combination. So if you want to find out Vi, then Vi will be the same voltage as that of Rin. Whatever the voltage drop we are having across Rin, the same voltage will be acting as input voltage to this op amp. So that's why we apply voltage divider rule. Vi is equal to Rin divided by Rin plus R signal into main signal, the signal, because this is the main source. This is where we need to find the voltage. If you want VI, we need VR in by total resistance which we are having. Then this is one parameter. This is one formula how we can find out the the input voltage, total input voltage which is been applied to the op amp, excluding the resistance which is offered by the signal generator. Now, if you for the open circuit voltage, the open circuit voltage will be equal to V naught by Vi, where as it is considered to be open circuit, then RL is infinity. RL will be equal to infinity. And also to find the output resistance. See, these are all external resistance which are connected. R signal, RL, these are all connected externally. But we need to find out the effective resistance offered by the input and the output of the op amp. How much resistance it is offering. It is just like telling a man's ability is this much, his resistance power is this much. But actually, when you take a particular person, his resistive power might be different. Ideally, you may tell this is the output resistance, this is the input resistance with respect to this op amp. But when you but we need to know what is the exact opposition, what is the exact effect which is given by this op amp. As I told, similar to a person, based upon some might have higher resistance power, some might have lower resistance power. There, we cannot just simply tell this is the amount of resistance power everyone can have. It depends. In the same way here, even though we connect external resistance, we need to find out the internal and the output resistance, input and output resistance, to know the effective value. So AV naught is equal to V naught by Vi, as we have taken. So now R naught is equal to Vx by Ix. So in order to find the output resistance, we need to know what is the output voltage and output current. So that's why what we do is whenever we want to find the output resistance, we are going to ground the input signal. This is as per the Thevenin's theorem. So whenever you want to find out the resistance, we are going to make the input signal 0 or grounded. So that's why we have taken this particular circuit where we have considered the current to be Ix. The current is Ix. So again, from Thevenin's theorem, Vi by V signal is equal to Rin by Rin plus R signal and when you look into the formula of AV naught, so the AV naught is given as V naught by Vi and also the gain AB, the overall gain. So that relation can be given as AV is equal to AV naught into RL divided by RL plus R naught. Okay. So the relationship between the voltage gain and the transconductance can be given as AV naught is equal to GM into R naught. So this is the transconductance, this is the output resistance, and this is the voltage gain. And overall, the voltage gain which is given is considered to be GV is equal to Rin by Rin plus R signal into AV naught into RL by RL plus R naught. Because this is with respect to the output output side, where we are going to find out the output voltage which is lying across RL. So this is with respect to the output and this is with respect to the input. Then GV naught is equal to Ri or Rin, whatever you want you can take, by plus R signal into AV naught. So this is the overall voltage gain. This is the overall voltage gain which we are having. So after this, we need to write the equivalent circuits of amplifier to find different, the same thing, what already we have derived it. So we are going to analyze it by writing the circuit diagrams. Okay. So for that, you can see. Okay. So these are the different equivalent circuits which we are having. Basically, this is the equivalent circuit, this portion, whatever the shaded portion we are having now, this shaded portion is going to give the equivalent circuit of the MOSFET. This is the equivalent circuit of the MOSFET. These are all Vsig, Rsig, RL. These are all the external components which we are adding. So whatever the equivalent circuit which is need to be considered for the MOSFET is this shaded part, whatever we are having, those components. So as I wrote in the diagram, the input resistance will be acting in parallel with respect to R sign. So we write one R sign and R in, across that only we will be having the input voltage. And since we are taking, see here we have considered the drain common source configuration. Since we have considered common source configuration, output will be collected across the drain. And as you know, whenever you are giving the input, it will be very, very less. And when you consider the output, it will be high. So we consider that the secondary part of the MOSFET is going to have a source, voltage source, but that is a dependent voltage source, which is dependent upon the overall gain as well as the input. So because of the presence of this, we are able to get the amplified version of the input at the output side. This can again converted into in terms of current and resistor by the source transformation theorem and all. So we are going to split this voltage source and this resistance in this way, as this is the basic thing. The resistance and so voltage source are in series, that can be written with a current source and a parallel resistance. And again, when you consider the overall voltage gain and the transconductance, the simplified circuit can be written like this, which is almost the same as the initial circuit which we wrote. So by this, what we are going to show is we are able to show the different components which are involved in the amplification process, or whatever the important parameters that needs to be considered for the analysis of an op-amp, analysis of the MOSFET is considered in this by this internal circuit diagrams or equivalent circuits. Okay, so if they ask you explain the characterizing of the MOSFET, then you need to write how Ri is produced, where across which you are taking it, and how R0 is produced, across which you are going to take. Like that, all the things you need to discuss along with this equivalent circuit. So after this, we are having common source amplifier. So we are having around some four derivations among this. After that, we are having the internal, the capacitive model and high frequency, again, high frequency and low frequency response of this MOSFET. So this is not a very big chapter, which can be finished off in another 2-3 classes. Yes, we'll stop it here today. We'll continue the next class.